Okay, so someone on YouTube wants me to explain how I feel about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And we could do this big discussion about the history of it, but I don't want to do that. I know the history of the conflict. Whoever I'm arguing with knows the history of the conflict. Let's push that aside and just get right down into the main arguments. Because what I care about is the situation today. I think I know the history pretty well. I mean, I'm obviously learning new things all the time, which is why I watch videos from both sides. But it still doesn't change my general thought, which is that at least in today's aspects, Israel's got to give. Israel's got to give something. So, random person on YouTube who's challenging me, here are 5 issues that I would sincerely like you to address. Please address these issues in a way that makes logical sense, and we will continue to have this discussion. So, here are the issues that I would like to see the Israeli opinion on. Step 1. Tell me about what you should do with the right of return, with these, some giant number, it's probably in the millions, of Palestinians who fled during the various Israeli invasions, who have no homes to go back to. All those people that have been in the refugee camps for 50 years. In the event of any peace deal, what should happen to them? Where should they go? Number 2. 3,000 years from today, do you think that there will be Palestinian people spread all over the world singing songs about their ancient homeland, desiring to come back, doing anything they can? Because, I mean, it's kind of possible that it could be the same situation that the Jewish people have endured for the last 3,000 years. Okay, this is a big point that I'm really curious to see the Israeli side on. I know that the Oslo Peace Accords failed because Yasser Arafat walked out of the Accords when he could not gain complete sovereignty over the Haram al-Sharif, or the Temple Mount. And I know that that is by far the most important site in Judaism. I remember I had a conversation with an Israeli one day, and they said, if we could have just one spot in the whole land of Israel, every Jewish person would choose the Temple Mount. And I understand that. And the thing is, if you asked any Palestinian person, if you could have one spot in all of that area, what would it be? And they would all say the Haram al-Sharif. So it's who gets that? How will that work? Because that was the clutch that destroyed the peace deal at Oslo. Who gets it? Let me know. And here's another big concept that is constantly perpetuated to me by Israeli people. But, okay, so you always talk about territory and land swaps and, oh, you know, in 1940 it was 50-50, and then in 1960 it was 60-40% of the territory divided between Jews and Israelis. But from what I understand, some of that territory, whole bucket loads better than other territories. Like, really, like the whole southern desert region, not that exciting. The coast, great. A lot of parts of the West Bank, great. And of course, every single inch of the city of Jerusalem is insanely valuable to both sides. So you can't say like, oh, we'll take, 3/4 of Jerusalem and you can have the equivalent area in the southern desert. It's not equal. It's not the same. You can't build a country off of the worst land in a country. Anyway, yeah, please address that. Please tell me how, saying that land swaps will make it equal. Well, it's not equal land. So, tell me what you think about that. And then, this is a point that I would like to make. I was a summer camp counselor for 4 years. And at one of my summer camps, we had some boys who lived in Israel for most of their lives. These were like 5-year-old boys. And I was shocked when one of my fellow camp counselors, who was of Muslim faith, the boy was just racist against him. Just terribly racist. And he even at one point said, I don't want you to be my counselor because you're Muslim. And I know that Muslims are our enemies. And that mindset blew my mind. How could a people who have endured so much racism and hate throughout history teach hate themselves? I think that's the worst part. Please address these points. I'm sure this will start a discussion. I will delete any comment that I deem is somehow racist or just generally ambiguous. I think I did this in a somewhat reasonable frame of mind. I like to think I'm somewhat neutral. Well, I mean, yes, I've made it clear that I'm a little bit more on Team Palestine. But, I want to hear both sides. I really desperately do. I want to understand this. Peace out.